Afternoon, everybody. How are you? Welcome. My name is Judy Anderson, and this is my Happy Stamping Studio. And I hope to open your window of creativity with some of our celebration sets that are coming up in our 2021 celebration period from January 4th through the end of February. Sorry. Hello, Gail. Thanks for coming on. So, Diane and I, normally you guys see Diane today. However, Diane had some appointments and she couldn't make it. So I'm doing today's live and she's going to be coming tomorrow doing a live. So I hope you're not too disappointed, but we're going to have some fun today. I am going to be using the Corner Bouquet stamp set. Now the stamp set is in the celebration catalog, so you have the opportunity to earn this stamp set for free with a $50 purchase in the USA. I am pairing that up with the Pattern Play stamp set from our annual catalog. And I needed a greeting, and the greetings in the Pattern Play didn't fit. So I went to my Old Faithful itty bitty greetings, and I haven't quite chosen which one yet, but we'll figure that out while we're making the card. I am using, the soft seafoam cardstock and some of our brushed metallic cardstock. We're going to be doing some embossing today also. Hey Kay, how are you? And Becky, good afternoon, everybody. I'm glad you caught it on here and you all came to the right place. I do share this in one of my groups, which is Stamping with Judy. And some people get confused. Oh, Judy, where are you? You know, so because they get notification. And I just want to let you guys know that when you're on my page, you don't necessarily get all the notifications unless you click the notification button. But when you're in a group like Happy Stamping with Judy and I share it there, you get all notifications when you're in a group. But I also let you know that I'm going to be live here. So if it says I'll be live in 20 minutes at Judy Stamps, this is where you go. So I hope you guys all kind of get that, and hope you guys are, you know, all caught up with your Christmas stuff. You know, Christmas is only a few days away, and this is Panicville for most of us. But for me, it doesn't seem too much like Christmas this year. How about you guys? I don't know if it's the pandemic. I have not been to a store shopping yet. I do not shop online either. So I am doing I'm doing some handmade gifts this year, and I went shopping way back in September. I did all my Christmas shopping. Yeah, that's when I took a trip to Florida and visited my brother and my sister-in-law, and we wore our masks, and I found some awesome stuff for my grandkids. So I just did all my shopping there. In fact, my husband goes, well, wait a minute. You told me that you're going to have an extra suitcase coming back, and your extra suitcase is packed with stuff. I says, yeah, I have all my Christmas shopping done. So I'm going to be working on baking. I worked on making some cookie doughs this weekend. And what I do is I make all my cookie dough, and then I do all the baking at one time. So this one we would do it working on this week. But let's get started with the card, okay? Hey, Pat. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to switch you guys around here. And let's hope we don't have a disconnect. Judy hasn't been having very good luck lately. So, Pat says it does not feel like Christmas either. Oh, and you know what, Pat? We have no snow. And we've had very little snowfall this year. And it didn't stick. It didn't even stick for 3 hours when we got it. So, yeah. I had to turn my fan on. I'm a little bit warm down here today. So, yeah, we don't have any snow to speak of. And, you know, it's kind of living in the southern states, right, Pat? With no snow. We're used to having snow for Christmas. And it just doesn't seem like Christmas without it. We are supposed to get a little brush of snow, I think, Wednesday. But they say it's not going to stick. And next week it's supposed to be bitter cold. So I'm going to move my paper trimmer out of the way, And we are going to be using the Stamparatus. Let me take this stamps off of here. And like I said, we're going to be using the pattern play. And I am going to be using the stamped image in here. And we're going to be doing some hinge stamping today. Something that I love to do to make patterns and make my own patterns. I could use some designer series paper, but I opt not to. So I am going to place my paper on here so that this goes up and down. And I am going to move my magnets. You all know that when I use my Stamparatus, I always put my graph paper, my foam mat to match the insignia of Stampin' Up! On my Stamparatus. So to me, that's my anchor. Okay, so I am going to place this on here. I don't place it all the way against here. I always place it out at least one square, if at all possible. Now, as you all know, with our photopolymer stamps, you can't put the magnets too close because they're the same thickness as the stamp. So I'm going to place this so that there's a little bit of a border. We're going to be trimming this paper down. And I want a little bit of a border. So we're going to go about right there. And then that's how I line it up. I put it on here. And hold this down because the magnet's not holding it there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my soft seafoam ink. And I'm going to ink this up. And I can't see. Can you see it? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up. I can't see my full screen. So let me know, what are you guys doing this week? Is all your shopping done? Did you order online this year? Did you make your gifts? I've always made gifts. Okay, so we've got that first one stamped. So now I'm going to move one of my magnets to that side. And then I'm going to pick up this magnet and move it to this side. We're going to move this down one hinge. Now, I am going to tell you that it doesn't line it up right next to it. It does leave a space, and that's okay with me. We're going to go ahead and put this here. And how you can tell if your ink, sorry, I bumped the camera, is all on your cardstock is look at the color of this as you press it down. It's kind of turns darker. Okay, we move that. I'm going to go ahead and move this one up here. Move this down one more hinge. We've got to do something a little special for the last one. So ink that up. I just love my Stamparatus. It makes it so much easier, doesn't it, to stamp a pattern like this and make sure it's straight and all evenly spaced. Okay, we're going to go ahead, but now you're going to notice that this goes all the way to the edge, and we don't want it all the way to the edge. We want a little bit of a gap there. So I am going to grab a piece of 1/2 inch, oops, or maybe not, yeah, 1/2 inch strip of cardstock, and I want it in about 1/4 inch. So I am lining it up with this right here on the graph paper and this side over here. That way I'm making sure it's straight. Just lining that up. I'm going to go ahead and move this one to the side. I just kind of want that to be held stable. We're going to be trimming this piece down in the end. And the reason why I don't trim it down to the size I want it is I want to be able to stamp it and trim it to make sure that my pattern's even on this particular card. Okay, now you're going to see it's a little bit lighter there. I don't think I inked it up well, so I just tapped it with some ink, push it back down, and there we go. Okay, we're going to lift this, and you're going to notice that pattern's not straight. Now, with that in mind, if you are very particular and want this perfectly straight on here, you know, your pattern even, so you only have 2 lines here and 2 lines here, you would have to adjust your paper. To me, it doesn't matter because we're going to be stamping over that. I'm just going to clean off my stamp and my stamp apparatus because I always get ink on the plate. Let's lift this up and remove it. So, oh, Paula's going to be baking Wednesday. Awesome. So, I'm trying to see. So, Becky is last minute crafting gifts, wrapping, and procrastinating. Oh, you know what? That used to be me years ago. I used to like to wrap all my gifts at one time, and now I wrap them as I purchase them. So when I got back, I wrapped them all. So Pat says that she had her Christmas season back in October when she had the record-breaking snow. Yeah, isn't that the way it's been going lately? Although the nor'easter this last week, they got pounded with snow. We're going to move this for a minute because I want to trim my paper. Now, I'm going to trim it down. Now, this is where you could trim it all the way down to this line here, but I'm not. I'm just going to trim off right next to where my stamping is. Just going to trim that down. Yeah, I'm waiting until Wednesday to do my kolachkis because I don't like kolachkis that have been sitting around too long, even if it's only a couple days. But otherwise, I'm getting all my other baking done early. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at this, and this measures about 3.5 by 4 5/8. So I originally had cut my brushed metallic, and I chose the kind of goldy champagne-y color. I have a difficult time looking at the difference until I pair it up with whatever I'm embossing or pairing it up with. And so I cut it down so it was a 1/4 inch larger all the way around than this piece here. Just so you know. So now we're going to grab our stamp apparatus again. And once again, I am going to place this in the same area that I placed it the last time. I happen to be a creature of habit because then I remember. Then I'm going to take my stamp, and I want to place my stamp where I want it to go on my paper. So I'm going to do it down in this corner to start with. And we're just going to press that down. Okay, now I have some Versamark and some gold embossing powder and my embossing buddy. So the first thing I want to do is rub my embossing buddy on here to make sure none of that spattered gold embossing powder sticks. Go ahead and ink up my stamp. You know, embossing wowed me the first time I saw it, and all my clients love embossing, and it's the one thing that my new clients love, and they can't believe how easy it is. I go, oh yeah, beginner stampers can do it too. Okay, that's stuck because of the Versamark. Go ahead and grab our embossing powder. So I love showing embossing. Just tap it off, and it's cleared off. So I'm going to grab my heat gun. It's going to be a little bit noisy for a minute. And when I emboss, I start at one end, hold it until it starts changing like that, and then I move it up in the direction, and you can see how it starts heating before you go up to the end. When you wave your wand, that heat is being distributed across, and it just doesn't, I don't know, to me some spots get heated and some spots don't. So we got that one. So now I'm going to do this in the same thing in this other opposite corner. So I'm going to line this up, and because we've already marked off where we need and put our stamp where it should go, we shouldn't have a problem. You can double check. It's going to fit on perfectly. And we're just going to ink this up. I love this stamp set because it decorates the corners, and envelopes would be gorgeous with this. And the pattern is that, now I'm embossing it today, but I will be showing you some other techniques to do with this stamp set. I love solid stamp sets because you can do so many techniques with it. I've got my supplies coming for my January classes, and I am going to be doing some online classes and hope that you guys join me. Okay, once again, hold this in one area at an angle and see how it just goes, and you just move this and move it up, and in no time your piece is embossed. We're going to go ahead and wipe off our stamp. How many of you were with me when I said I lost my happy birthday stamp? I looked and looked for it, and I was going through some of my designer series paper today, and wouldn't you know, it stuck to the back of one of my designer series papers packaging. Okay, so we have this. We are going to go ahead and adhere that to our card in a minute. I need to do a punch. And we are using our new double oval punch, where you punch the outside scalloped and the inside. Now normally I would only punch what I need, but this is going to be too close to the edge, so I'm going to place it all the way in. And the reason being is I don't want to waste this gorgeous gold paper. I'm going to use this one, but this is going to be hidden behind in the and you know what? Yeah, no, I did it right. Oops, stuck to my punch. Let's just get that out of there. So now almost put it on backwards. Ooh, Monday. And we're going to cover that up so nobody is going to know that you've punched from there. Then I have a piece of the soft seafoam, and this measures 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2. We're going to go ahead and adhere this on to the card front. This stamp set makes some awesome cards that are gorgeous. There we go. So now we need to go ahead and do our verse. So I got a piece of soft sea foam, and I'm going to punch that. So this is going to be extra. We're going to be placing this on the inside of this, but let's grab our itty bitty greetings and let's see what we're going to use. So, I always need thank you cards. You guys probably notice that I make a lot of thank you cards. So I think I'm going to do the thank you, or the many thanks. So I have to look at it this way, and let's see where it is. This is the happy birthday stamp that I lost, but everybody's going to be happy. Now I think I'm going to do with gratitude. I think that's going to fill it more. Yes, it is. So I'm going to grab just a scrap piece of paper that I have here. I'm going to adhere this down to it just in the center so it doesn't move when I stamp it. And okay, let's move that. Oh, this is not. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to touch that on there, and then I need the embossing buddy again. And we're going to rub it because we're going to emboss this on. So we'll be using the Versamark pad again. Let me get my block. Grab my Versamark. Okay, this is going to stick because this is not a cling mount. This is one of my older sets that doesn't have the cling on it. Did you guys know that we actually carry a product to change your stamp sets into cling? So if you have some of our older sets that didn't cling, you can now make them cling. Okay, I'm going to leave them on this just because I should have punched it after the fact. So I should have stamped it first and then punched. I don't want to burn my fingers. So we're going to go ahead, sprinkle that on. Tap it off, and there's our With Gratitude. Go ahead and heat this up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to attach this directly to the gold. Just like that. But I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere that on, and I've got some edging. So you could use your foam strips, which I love to use on larger things like this, or your strips just right off your Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this onto our card front, but we're not done. Upside down. Told you it's Monday. So we're going to put this, I think, up here in this corner. Like this. Now, I have some of our ribbon, and this is the fine art ribbon, and this has got gold thread woven in it, and I thought, ooh, this would look great for a ribbon. You'll notice that I keep it on my spool. So for those of you that don't like wasting ribbon, I go about, an inch and a half to 2 inches up. I wrap this around like this. Poke that through. Now I am going to warn you that with this ribbon, that gold thread seems to unravel a bit. So I don't recommend trimming it until you're all done fussing with your bow. I don't want too large of a bow, so I'm going to pull this down a little bit so my ears kind of match. Okay, so then we're going to get our ribbon cutting scissors. I'm going to hold my 2 legs together, just like this, and then I'm going to trim them. They're not going to be the same exact size, but they're going to be pretty close. Let's grab our mini glue dots. And we're just going to put this on with a mini glue dot. Okay, just right up there. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to add some gems on there, but I think I'm going to hold off. I think this card holds itself. It's just gorgeous like this. So, so I'm going to see what you guys have to say. So Pat, oh my gosh, Pat, you're a knitter. That's right. That's right. I don't knit, I crochet. She knit shawls and scarves for her friends this year. Awesome. They are going to love that. So Pat bought a small tacky mat that she uses, what her magnets would get in the way of your stamp. Yeah, you know, I find that this works fine. Or I just take a little bit of adhesive and put it on the back, and it holds fine. I've had no trouble with my Stamparatus doing that. So Becky, so let me see. Yep, Becky, I agree. It's pretty just the way it is. So I hope you guys enjoy that and look forward to celebration. Don't forget, if you're not currently working with a demonstrator and would like the catalog, I have plenty of them here. I've been mailing them out every day to people. Just shoot me an email or just private message me through here and I will get your information. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project and look forward to Diane's project tomorrow. So until next time, everybody, happy stamping. Bye-bye.